Welcome to Stories with Friends and Buds. Our website is storiesandmore.me where you can get our book. And whoa! What's my brother doing?
Hey!
What are you? Get out of my room!
I was here first.
You can't use my Xbox.
It's my turn. It's my turn, doggone it. Now you give it to me.
Oh, hot dog, hot dog. What are you doing, hot dog? What are you doing? Well, I just heard you guys were fighting, and you're not supposed to do that. You know what? You're supposed to take turns and have so much time on your...
It's my turn. She's supposed to let me...
Wait a minute, folks. Wait a minute. I think they're getting ready for a story. Yeah, I think they are too. This is my big dog, Hot Dog. Yeah, I'm Hot Dog.
Well, I'm Jack.
Yeah, and I'm Lucy, but, you know, we're supposed to have a certain amount of time, and my time's not up, and you're not supposed to be in my room. Well, I think I'll just tell you guys a little bit of a story. It's a short story about two Jewish brothers that lived, back in ancient times, but, hey, you know, there were families back in ancient times. Yes, there were families back in ancient times. And these two boys, they lived on the farm where their dad was. Well, I think I'll go ahead and listen to this.
Well, I'm just going to go outside and play.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, wait, why don't you listen right down there, Jack? Because this might be good for you. You see, these two brothers, they were born so close together, people thought they were twins, you know? Hi, George.
Well, hi there.
I bet these brothers had a dog out there on their farm.
I'm sure glad that Hot Dog showed up and broke up those two little snots.
I am too. Oh my gosh. Well, now, are you listening? It's because this is an idea of how you can get along in your family and get more done and be happier, you know? Because these two little brothers grew up so close together. They learned how to do the farm together, and their dad taught them all the things that they needed to know about doing the farm and so forth like this. This is way over in the land like where Israel is, and maybe you'll look that up on a map someday or so. But they were farming, and they learned how to plant and water and grow, and well, it took a lot of engineering and thinking to raise crops in those days, and they worked hard, and they grew up, and their dad got old as they grew up, of course, and one day, well, they were quite older, and their dad was elderly and could not even work the farm anymore, and he eventually got sick, and he passed away, and just as he went over to the other side, he told the brothers, I've been so proud of you boys, because you've always gotten along, you know, for the most part, all the way you get along, and you've learned the farm, and you have the farm, and he gave one half of the farm to this brother, and one half of the farm to that brother, and so, after the father had passed away, the one boy over here, he went and he got married, and he had children, and of course, the years are going by, and this other boy, well, he never got married, didn't have children. One night he was sleeping, and he was thinking about his brother over there and how he had all those mouths to feed, and he had all this grain in his barn, and, well, he'll just surprise him, and in the middle of the night, he'll put some grain in a sack and put it on his donkey, and he'll take it over there and dump it in that barn, and he'll be surprised, and he'll have given his brother some extra food for his family. But the same night, the other brother was thinking, my poor brother works that whole farm by himself. He has nobody to help him. I should give him some of my grain. I'll put some grain in a sack, and I'll take my donkey, and I'll just dump it in his barn. He'll be surprised the next morning. They were both thinking of how to help each other. Oh my, wow, what a concept. So it was that one brother loaded his donkey with a sack of grain, and the other brother with the sack of grain, and they walked across the field at night, and they passed each other because the moon was dark, and they didn't see each other, and they dumped the grain in each other's barns, and then they came back, and they went to bed, and the next morning they woke up, and they went out to the barn, and they were so surprised. Oh my gosh, look at this. Well, how did this happen? I know I did that. Did I dream it? Oh, surely this can't happen. Well, tonight I'll double it up. So the next night, they doubled up each with 2 bags, and they walked across the field, and the moon was still dark, and they dumped their grain in each other's barns, and they came back. They woke up the next morning, same thing. I think I'm losing it. This is crazy. What's happening with me? I'm going to quadruple the grain. I'll know for sure I've given him enough. And so they loaded their donkeys a lot with grain and heavy bags, and they started walking across the field, but the moon was out and it was big and bright. And when the moon is big and bright, they could see each other. Oh my gosh.
Ooh,
Look
wow.
at you. You have the grain. Well, you have the grain too. And they started laughing. And look, we were both doing the same thing at the same time. And then they started talking about what they did when they were children and when they were older, and you know, reminiscing and thinking about the things that they had fun with and the days of their dad being alive and different things. Well, they had a great time sitting there right there in that field talking about things. And the next morning they were back at work and full of joy. And it's told that many, many years, hundreds of years later, the story goes that a very wise man named Solomon built a temple where he lived upon that land. And they say if you go in there, you can hear angels singing how good it is for brothers to live together in harmony.
Well, amen.
That's right.
Amen.
What do you think of that?
That's a good story.
And I think Lucy is going to be pretty happy about that. Well, actually, I did get something out of that. Hey, thank you very much. You know what? I think our next YouTube is going to be a little bit about the book that I've written. Here's how that happened. You can go to Amazon, but you can go to storiesandmore.me and find it.
Lucy,
Yep.
I'm sorry.
And I'll see you next time.
I'll let you have it for a while. We learned to need to share.
Well, life would be a lot more peaceful if we share it with one another. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Okay. Have a good day, guys. We care about you.